What's going on? This is the brother Jay, and you know what time it is. It's time for another thought of the day. And my thought of the day is keep your head up. Now, what I mean by that, I don't mean that by, a Tupac uplifting spiritual sense, even though that would be a good thing to do. You know what I'm saying? No, I mean that literally. Keep your head up. There's a lot of youngsters walk around and either they walking with their head down, looking on their cell phone and shit like that, or they just some low self-esteem people that don't believe in making eye contact, and they'll literally look at the ground while they walking by. Mostly that's like Asian ladies are the main ones, leading the pack as far as like walking with their head to the ground and shit. Now, in my day, shit. If you walk down with your head to the ground, first of all, to the sharks in my neighborhood, that was a sign of low self-esteem. So they're going to definitely attack your ass. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, for especially for a dude, you know what I'm saying? It's bad enough that they'll psych you into some other shit. Back in the day, they had this one trick they used to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe one guy will approach you or two guys, stuff like that. And one of them will say, "Hey, man, you got a light?" And you're like, "Yeah," you know what I'm saying? And as soon as you like, because you can't help but like look at your pocket to make sure you're grabbing your lighter and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So while you're looking down right there, either he pulls out a pistol at you or he'll bop you upside the head or something like that and they'll beat your ass and rob you, you know what I'm saying? So, and now that part happens more with men. With women, it's a little bit more, you know, say kind of a little darker because their intentions is not to just to rob you, you know. But the point is, keep your head up. Make eye contact with a motherfucker. It don't have to be major long. You know what I'm saying? Just enough to let a motherfucker know, like, yeah, you don't want to fuck with me, even though you're like, you know what I'm saying? So, but you can't look like somebody can just beat your ass at any given second, you know? So, and I think like most of the people in my generation really didn't do that anyway because our main thing was respect anyway. We walked around and demanded that, demanded respect, you know. So at least the cats I was with and me, you know what I'm saying. I mean, I ain't had too many problems with that unless it was a direct enemy approaching me. Then it was a problem. But just getting fucked with just for walking down the street, I always had that look on my face, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish you motherfucking would, nigga. You know. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, a lot of these days, though, I just did experiment. In the last, I say, 3 months. And, I'm just walking in different areas, you know what I'm saying? And just walking and looking at how people move, you know? And maybe it's just here in Washington. Because I doubt in California they'll move like that. They'll be walking all around and looking all at the ground and shit, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? That's why, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, in like California and stuff like that, in Arizona and stuff like that on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see them doing most of their texting in the car while they driving. Because when they get out the car, they ain't walking too much out of the car looking at their fucking phone and shit. Like they looking at who's around them and who's coming up from behind me and shit, you know? So, but out here in Seattle, oh man, they good for that shit. You know what I'm saying? They just be constantly, you know, if some of you were walking into trees and all kinds of things and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, just because they're on their phone so much, you know? I'm like, it's not that serious. But anyway, the point I'm getting at is to keep you from being a victim, is to keep your head up. Even if you're shy, then you don't have to make eye contact with that person, but you have to be looking at something that's straight ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're looking down at the ground, you might get greeted with an uppercut or something, you know? And then people be saying, well, why was you looking with your head on the ground? I don't know. You know? And that's another thing that keeps you from becoming a victim. And then, these my safety tips. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start doing that from now on. You know what I'm saying? When I started making my thought of the day, it's gonna have to be like, okay, safety tip. I'm gonna do that from whenever I do the next one. It'd be safety tip, you know what I'm saying? And I go into whatever. But these are safety tips to keep you, and not only you, but see, most of the time when I see most ladies doing this, they have a child with them. You know? So you don't want to look weak, and you got a child when you're supposed to be the protector of that child. You know? And if the woman's walking down the street and she got, you know what I'm saying, two children with her, one's usually, I would say, probably 10-ish, and he can walk by himself, but she also has another younger child, which is like, you know what I'm saying, like around 3 or 4, that she's holding his hand with one hand, and she might have her hand on her purse, but she's looking at the ground. See, I mean, I thank God in heaven that I never was like a robber, like a strong arm robber and shit. Well, shit, out this state, I'll clean up. I'll clean up, man. Because so many people lunching. So many people just out, out to lunch, nigga. They ain't paying attention to their surroundings and who's around them or nothing. You know. But see, I never wanted to be that kind of dude anyway. Because, I mean, there's one thing I can say that's a genuine fact. Is that those who rob people, when you rob enough people, you start to forget how many people you robbed. And you be moving around like, hey, let me go to this fucking club tonight. And it might be 2 or 3 motherfuckers that you robbed in the club, but you forgot you robbed their ass. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm glad, you know what I'm saying, I never was a robber. Plus, anyway, I never believe in like this straight up strong arm stealing from a motherfucker. I mean, like, there's people that I didn't like. And I clipped them, you know what I'm saying? But it won't be like, you're saying I got to clip you at gunpoint. I just clip you when you're slipping. You know what I'm saying? So, but friends and family, never clip them. No. So, but the long story you're saying short, and the meat of the story is that's one of the many things to keep you safe and keep the wolves from jumping all over your back is when you walk down the street, walk like you got a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Walk like you have a little bit of confidence, even if you don't have none. You know what I'm saying? Like with this new saying, they say, fake it till you make it. Well, when you walk down the street, fake confidence. That way, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say that the wolves and the sharks ain't gonna move in on you, but they'll lessen the frequency on how often they move in with you because you'll have that look like you ain't nothing to play with, even though you're soft as fucking peanut butter. You know what I'm saying? So that's my safety tip. Now, if you out with a pack of motherfuckers and stuff like that, saying not a pack, but like, saying you out with your girlfriends, you're saying 2 girlfriends, stuff like that. Now I noticed the change in that kind of behavior because I seen, like, let me use an example. There's one lady in particular that lives like roughly like about a good, I want to say 5 or 6 blocks away from me ish. Okay. Now, in the many frequency times that I keep walking up and down this neighborhood, when I see this woman and she's by herself, she's walking, but, when I get near her, you know what I'm saying, she looks at the ground and just keep walking, looking at the ground. You know what I'm saying? But when she's walking down the street with 2 or 3 of her partners and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, now her swagger is different now. Her swagger is like, yeah, motherfucker, looking all in your face and shit, who are you? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, you one of them fronters and stuff like that. When you're in front of your friends, you front like you're all confidence, but when you by yourself, you're on the humble, So, and still, you know what I'm saying? I can kind of understand it, even though I don't agree with that behavior, because if anything, you're saying when you're by yourself, that's when you're supposed to show the most confidence. You know what I'm saying? Because you're saying, I mean, when you're around other people, first of all, I never really put my stock in other people because you never know what they're on. You know, if some funk jumps off, you know what I'm saying? What's there to say they ain't gonna book and run from your ass? You know? So, you know what I'm saying? Just because you have motherfuckers around you doesn't mean they're gonna be around you when funk jumps off. They be the main ones like, pew! And you turn around like, hey, what the? And you get, where'd they go? You know? So, safety tip. This is a safety tip. Always walk around like you have confidence. If you need to text, nigga, then stand still. You know what I'm saying? Prop up next on a building, you know what I'm saying, where no one can sneak up behind you. You know what I'm saying? And do your text. But you keep texting while you're walking, you're going to get got. You're going to get got, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, whether it be they trying to rob you or they in a bad mood, they want to beat somebody's ass and you just happen to walk down the street. So please be safe. All right. Deuces.